Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2. Last week, Coventry United received a humbling at Bromsgrove Sporting. This week, here at Sphinx Drive, can United get back to winning ways? Welcome to Hillz FM Matchday with Liam Cook bringing you live coverage of Coventry United versus Studley FC. My name's Liam Cook, I'm going to be your host through today's game, and let's hope for a better showing than last week when Coventry United were thrashed by 4-2 in front of the biggest crowd in Midland League Division 1 history. Over 900 people travelling up to Bromsgrove at the Victoria Ground. Slightly smaller crowd expected today here at Sphinx Drive, but we're hoping for more goals as well. So a big game coming your way today. We have got your team news coming up in a few seconds time. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Matchday Hillz for the latest goings on, at Hillz FM with myself as well, Liam Cook, and of course with Coventry United. Anything you want to know about today's show, get in touch. Even if you just want a shout out, send them to at Matchday Hillz on Twitter. And of course we thank you for tuning in to today's game live on YouTube. If your friends want to listen, all they have to do is search Hillz FM Matchday in their YouTube search bars. It could not be easier. Right, let's get straight into today's team news, starting off with our visitors, Studley. Starting in goal, number 1, Brendan Bunn. Number 2, Gary Turner. 3, Kyle Mullen. 4, Danny Byford. 5, Gary Joins. 6, Dave Edwards. 7, Daniel Stokes, a former Coventry boy, so make sure you look out for that name. Number 8, Matt Edwards. 9, Joe Knight. This is a tough one. 10, Vasnor Kediumbeko. I hope I've got that right. Kediumbeko, that's the one. And number 11, Robbie Bunn. And on the bench for Studley, just the 2 substitutes in number 12, Gerald Hilton, who's ironically their second highest scorer. And number 14 is Orrin Penley. Okay, now it's on to the boys in red. Starting in goal for Coventry United this afternoon is number 1, David Allen. 2, Thomas Glasgow. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Chris Cox. 5, Rob Prinzel. Returning to the side today, number 6, Martin Hutchcox. 7, Josh O'Grady. Number 8, Rich Blythe. 9, Joshua Blake. Number 10, Marino Peixoto. I hope I've got that right. It's a Portuguese name. And number 11 is Muzzy Unduna. On the bench for Coventry United, number 12, also returning to the United squad, is Callum Burgess. 14, Jamie Coleman. 15 is Gibb Musa. 16, Matt Brown. And number 17, Brian Unlove. So that is the team news for today's game, and it's not just here at Sphinx Drive where we've got some fantastic Midland League Division 1 action. There is football across the Midlands today and across the country in the wider leagues. Let's go through today's games. Bolhall Swifts versus Saltham United, that's at Reen Road. Bromsgrove Sporting, the league leaders, have a home tie against Stafford Town, that's at the Victoria Ground. Of course, Coventry United versus Studley here at Sphinx Drive. Heather St John's take on Leicester Road at St John's Park. Lichfield versus Coventry Copsewood at the McDonald's Community Stadium. Nuneaton Griff versus Cadbury Athletic. Anyone for chocolate? That takes place at the Pingles Stadium just up the road. Pelsall Villa versus Hinckley AFC. That's at the Bush Ground. Pershore Town versus Heath Hayes. That's at the King George V Stadium. Pilkington versus Averson Town at the TSA Sports Ground. And Racing Club Warwick versus Littleton at Townsend Meadow. So those are the games for Midland League Division 1 today. And just a quick heads up Matchday will not be broadcasting next week because, in fact, I'm not even going to be in the country. I'm going to be in Berlin, Germany, watching my first ever England away game. So that's Germany versus England next Saturday. So no Hillz FM Matchday next weekend. But of course, you can still come to the game. Coventry City are in action this afternoon. They are at home to inform Swindon Town in the Sky Bet League 1. We've got some team news from that game as well. Marc-Antoine Fortuné is starting, as is Andy Rose and Joe Cole. So a couple of changes to the Sky Blues starting lineup. So we'll take you through that team just about now, if we can get it up. There it is. So in goal is Reece Charles-Cook. In defence, we have Sam Ricketts, Jack Stevens, Aaron Martin and Martin Lorentzen. A three-man midfield of Romain Vincelot, Fleck and Rose. And then up front, we have a three-man attacking line of Joe Cole, Marc-Antoine Fortuné and Adam Armstrong. On the bench for the Sky Blues, Corey Aday, Stephen Hunt, Gail Big Romana, James Madison, Darius Henderson, Marcus Tudgate and Jacob Murphy. And for Swindon, the team is Belford, Thompson, Otterwill, Turnbull, Josie, Doughty, Thompson, Abika, Sendles White, Rogers and Barry. And the bench for Swindon, Roberts, Cook, Hilton, Iandolo, Brophy, Marshall and Henry. So that is the team news from the game at the Ricoh Arena this afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff. So about 15 minutes time, they're going to be getting underway across the city at the Ricoh Arena. So let's take you through a little bit of history from the opponents of Coventry United today. Studley Football Club. They were formed in 1971, playing Sunday football in the local Redditch League. They were known in those days as BKL because the side was made up of mainly employees of BKL Fittings. The club was relaunched as Studley Football Club on the 2nd of June 2002 following the collapse of the BKL company. Their achievements include 4 Worcester Senior Urns and 4 Smedley Crook Cups. Their home kit currently consists of sky blue shirts and dark blue shorts. Now Studley have won their last 2 games, a 3-0 triumph at home to Racing Club Warwick, followed by a 2-0 victory at Heather St John's. Now former United man Daniel Stokes, who I mentioned a little bit earlier on, is certainly one to watch, scoring 13 goals in 29 league appearances this season. Now Studley have a mixed record away from home this campaign, losing 11 and winning 8, and they are bizarrely yet to draw on their travels during this season. Their away record is so far better than their home form, although postponements have hampered the Beehive. So a little bit of information there regarding today's visitors, Studley. We are getting underway in about 5 minutes time here at Sphinx Drive. Now, of course, I don't think I have to remind you that Coventry United were absolutely trounced on Saturday when they travelled to Bromsgrove Sporting. You can still catch highlights of that game on YouTube. All you've got to do is search Hillz FM Matchday in your YouTube search bar, and there will be a video called Bromsgrove Sporting versus Coventry United, the highlights. It's about a 10-minute long clip with, I would say, the best of the game, but there weren't many good points for Coventry United fans at least. But they were part of a little bit of history that day with the largest crowd in Midland League Division 1 history. I believe it was around 970 people. So for a game at this level, that is absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to every single member of the Coventry United fan base, and of course to Bromsgrove as well for making history in Midland League Division 1. And of course Bromsgrove are now top of the table, although they have played 2 more games than Coventry United. They are 4 points clear on 68 points. Coventry United are 4 points behind on 64, but again they do have 2 games in hand. Followed by Nuneaton Griff, who are now just 1 point behind Coventry United. And then it's Lichfield in 4th, Leicester Road in 5th, Hinckley in 6th. And then it's Heathface, Pilkington, Littleton and Coventry Copswood. That rounds off the top 10. The bottom half of the table, in 20th place we have Saltham, Bowhall are in 19th, Heather St John's in 18th, Stafford in 17th, Pelsall Villa in 16th, Cadbury are in 15th place, Pershaw in 14th. Today's visitors, Studley, are down in 13th place, Averson are in 12th, and Racing Club Warwick find themselves in 11th place. I would just like to take this opportunity to welcome Studley's team and their fans today, as well as their manager Kevin Kingham, their assistant Brian Knight and their physio Nadine Tipple, who are going to be on the touchline today. Remember, only 3 members of the coaching staff from either side are allowed on the touchline at any time. So I tell you what, I cannot wait for this match between Coventry United and Studley Football Club. It's going to be a fantastic occasion, and let's hope that United can get back to winning ways. Now, they have only lost 3 games all season. There's 3 games out of 25 fixtures, so United are hoping to retain that record today. And they are the second highest scorers in the league with 80 goals. 80 goals out of 25 matches. Absolutely incredible. Only Nuneaton and Griff have scored more with 86. But again, a man to watch out for Coventry United is certainly Daniel Stokes, who scored quite a few goals during his time at Coventry United. I believe I've got a little stat here with the amount of goals that he actually scored. I believe it's something like 66 goals in 69 games. Certainly one of the most prolific strikers in Coventry United's short history. But will he be able to keep up with Josh O'Grady, who scored, I believe it's 29 goals this season in Midland League Division 1? Let's see if I can get up the stat. I believe it's 66 goals in 69 games for Coventry United. Either way, he's a modern-day legend for United. Let's hope that he gets the reception that he deserves when he comes out onto the pitch. But also, let's hope that he's left his shooting boots at home, because we don't want to see him blag another hat-trick. So again, we'll be going through the team news once again about 5 minutes before kick-off. Now, last week we did actually kick off quite early. We kicked off at 5-3, so that put us a little bit out of sync. Yeah, hopefully the referee will be able to do a bit more of a better job with his timekeeping this week. Of course, don't forget that you can catch Sports Lounge with Liam Cook every Thursday from 10 a.m. live on 98.6 Hillz FM. We will also have highlights of today's game ready for next week's edition of Sports Lounge. And the highlights will be played out around 10:30 on the show. But as I've stated about 5 minutes ago, do remember that I'm going to be going to Germany next week, so there will be no edition of Hillz FM Matchday next Saturday, although United will indeed be in action next weekend. Just try and get the fixture up for you, but of course we do wish Coventry United the best of luck for next week, especially today as well, because we do want to see some goals, especially from Coventry United. And in fact, next week is a trip to Hillz. So Coventry United versus Hillz. That's an away game for United. That is not going to be covered by Hillz FM Matchday next week, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm sure that the lads are still going to do a fantastic job on the field. Coventry Blaze are in action for the penultimate time in league competition tonight. They are at the Dundee Stars, and their final home game of the league campaign takes place tomorrow night at the Sky Dome against the bogey side Manchester Storm, a team who they have really struggled to beat this season. Thankfully, the Blaze are in the Elite League playoffs, so we are going to see them at least a couple more times before the end of the season. I still remember when they won the playoffs last year, an absolutely incredible night in Nottingham. Myself and my friend Tom were at the National Ice Centre for that one, and I've got to say it was quite possibly the best sporting night of my life. So let's hope that we can replicate that in the playoffs over the next couple of weeks. And the playoffs once again being held at the National Ice Centre in Nottingham once again this year. So I don't think we know just yet who Blaze are going to be playing in the playoffs, but you know what? I'm sure that they'll do a fantastic job. Wasps are also in action tomorrow. They are going to be taking they're going to be at the Ricoh Arena, because I read out the fixture on Thursday, but for the life of me I cannot remember who they are playing. They need to be better prepared with this sort of stuff. Let's have a look. It's Sale Sharks. They are playing Sale Sharks tomorrow at a 2 o'clock kick-off on Sunday between Wasps and the Sale Sharks. Plenty of footballing action this afternoon. Not only in Midland Division 1, but also in the professional leagues, I should say, got there in the end. We've already got one result for you from Goodison Park, the early kick-off between Everton and Arsenal. And I can tell you that Arsenal have got the points from that one, a 2-0 victory for the under fire Gunners. Arsene Wenger will be very happy to see that result, I'm sure. So as things stand, Arsenal are now 3 points behind Tottenham, but of course Spurs are still to play. So remember, they have Bournemouth tomorrow. Say for the games that are still to happen today: Chelsea versus West Ham United at Stamford Bridge, Crystal Palace versus the league leaders Leicester, Watford versus Stoke, and West Bromwich Albion versus Norwich City. There's also the fixture between Swansea City and Aston Villa at 5:30. And for those of you who are Formula One fanatics, this morning saw the first qualifying session of the new Formula One season, and let's just say it didn't go down too well. Well, it went okay for the Brits because Lewis Hamilton scored his 50th Formula One pole position, but the new qualifying format, in my opinion, was absolutely ridiculous, and we are being told that the format will be reviewed for the Bahrain Grand Prix, which takes place in 3 weeks' time. So we expect that the old qualifying format will be brought back. So basically, the new format was that after 5 minutes in the qualifying sessions, then drivers would start to be eliminated at 90-second intervals. Now, the thinking behind this was that it would force it would basically force the drivers to be out on track virtually all the time, but it didn't, and they virtually just left it. Yeah, not the best of starts to the Formula One season, but for all the British fans out there, Lewis Hamilton did get pole position. And they're just looking to the changing room door now, and Coventry United players are making their way towards the touchline. So 7 minutes before today's kickoff, they are set to make their way onto the pitch in a few short moments. Of course, we thank you for tuning in to Hillz FM Matchday, live from the Sphinx Drive ground. Big game here in Midland League Division 1. Coventry United looking to get back to winning ways after that disappointing 4-2 defeat at Bromsgrove. As the United manager Edwin Greaves makes his way onto the turf. He'll be hoping for bigger and better things today, but of course we never lose faith. We always hope that United will be able to keep the points here at Sphinx Drive. A couple of surprising changes from the starting lineup that lost to Bromsgrove. A few big names left out of the starting lineup, including Jamie Coleman and Matt Brown. And also there's no sign of Rich Morris either. He's not even on the bench, so we assume that he's injured. Callum Burgess is back on the bench though. He's shaking off a little bit of an ankle injury. And also back is Hutchcox as well. Martin Hutchcox, he starts today in defence. Certainly the defence does need shoring up after a poor performance on Saturday. Also Gift Musa has been left on the bench too. And Brandon Love is included amongst the substitutes as well. So a full roundup of the lineup coming up in about 5 minutes' time as the United substitutes show off in front of me. So not quite the 970 fans that we had at Bromsgrove last week, but the Coventry United faithful are here as always to cheer their boys on. So United will not be able to return to the top of Midland League Division 1 today, but they will be able to cut the deficit to just 1 point if Bromsgrove are unsuccessful in their match at home to Stafford. But looking at the table, it should be a relatively simple win for Bromsgrove, with Stafford down 17th place. As the United faithful are making their way into the ground. Say hello, fellas. Say hello. That'll do. Of course, we thank you for tuning in to today's edition of Hillz FM Matchday, live from the Sphinx Drive ground. Big game in Midland League Division 1. Of course, you can leave us any comments on today's game on Twitter at MatchdayHills. You can also get in touch with me via Facebook. Liam Hall Cook is my handle on there. We're bringing you updates from across the country this afternoon, including Coventry City's home game against Swindon Town, and of course the latest goings on in the Premier League and the Championship. We are expecting the players of Coventry United and Stafford to come out very shortly. The pitch looking in very good condition here at Sphinx Drive today. Luckily we've had a lot of dry weather over the past week. So obviously no pitch inspection needed after the awful weather that we've had this winter. It surprises me to think that we didn't need a pitch inspection before the game. But there is a little bit of a breeze here at Sphinx Drive, as the referee leads the players of Coventry United and Studley onto the pitch here at Sphinx Drive. We are set to go live from Sphinx Drive, Midland League Division 1 action. It's Coventry United, it's Studley, and it's live. Here on Hillz FM Matchday, we are set to go. So let's bring you up to date with the team news, starting off with the home side today. Starting in goal for Coventry United, number 1, David Allen. Number 2, Thomas Glasgow. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Chris Cox. 5, Rob Prinzel. 6, Martin Hutchcox. 7, Josh O'Grady. Number 8, Rich Blythe. 9, Josh Blake. Number 10, Marino Pacheto. And number 11, Muzzy Unduna. On the bench for Coventry United, 12, Callum Burgess. 14, Jamie Coleman. 15, Gift Musa. 16, Matt Brown. And 17, Brian and Love. Starting for Studley this afternoon, number 1, Brendan Bunn. 2, Gary Turner. 3, Kyle Mullen. 4, Danny Byford. 5, Gary Joins. 6, Dave Edwards. 7, a former Coventry boy, Daniel Stokes. Number 8, Matt Edwards. 9, Joe Knight. It's a tricky one, so do bear with me. Vasno Kediambiko. And number 11, Robbie Bunn. And just the 2 substitutes for Studley this afternoon. Number 12, Gerald Hilton. And number 14, Oren Penley. So the Bees of Studley in their yellow and black kits. And again, do watch out for the former Coventry United man, Daniel Stokes. I'm sure Coventry United fans are very familiar with that name. The top scorer for Studley this season, and the Coventry United old boy spent 2 seasons here, scoring over 60 goals for Coventry United. Seven. Number 7. As the captains of both sides are called into the centre circle. And Coventry United looking to return to form today. Very, very disappointing result in Bromsgrove last Saturday in front of a record Midland League Division 1 crowd of over 970 fans. We haven't quite got that number today here at Sphinx Drive, but we have got a number of loud and proud Coventry United fans who just want to see their boys get back to winning ways. United, of course, in their traditional red, white and green home strips, the civic colours of Coventry. And the Studley boys are wearing the colours of their nickname, the Bees, yellow and black. Let's hope there's not a sting in the tail for Coventry United this afternoon. It's going to be Studley kicking off towards the Sphinx Clubhouse. And you know we're getting... Hey, you know it's the first day of spring when you hear an ice cream van. And we are set to go at Sphinx Drive. Kicking things off, it's going to be Danny Byford and Vasno Kediambiko.
Come on then, let's start quickly, yeah! Come on, United!
And the referee kicks things off, and this afternoon's encounter between Coventry United and Studley is underway, with Studley on the attack. Coventry United pick up possession in the centre, boosted upfield by Muzzy and Duna. It's picked up straight away. Turner down line finds Kediambiko. They're back to Edwards. United pick up the ball in the defence and booted clear by Hutchcox. Turner picks it up, the right back for Studley. Kediambiko picks it up in the centre circle and tries to trick his way past Prinzel. That's not going to work out. But here comes Studley with Edwards. Kediambiko on the right hand side of the penalty area, nicked away there by, I believe it was Hutchcox. Yes, they've got it away, but it's going to be put back in by Turner and headed towards goal. And that should be a simple catch there. Daniel Stokes with the header towards goal, just outside the area. Not a lot of power on it, but United's goalkeeper David Allen had to be on his toes for that one. United have got to try and clear their lines here. Glasgow. And Glasgow nearly lost the ball then. Allen's going to boot this one clear, and he's skewed the goal kick. It's going to go straight to Bunn. Cross-goal opportunity here for Robbie Byrne. And it's gone straight to the goalkeeper, David Allen. Danger over for now for Coventry United. It's a nervy start. Prinzel hoofs it forward, looking for Blake. Blake trying to out-muscle the defender, and he does, but it's a foul. It's a foul against Matt Edwards of Studley, and Coventry United have a free kick on the right wing, just about level with the penalty area. Of course, we do remind you that although we do try and keep things PG here, if you do hear any swearing, it's from the fans and not us. That's going to be whipped in now by Josh O'Grady, the set-piece specialist, wins it in towards the far post, towards the head of Prinzel, and it's going to be cleared by Byford. And it's gone out for a Coventry United throw-in on the left wing. Still a opportunity here. If United can craft something from this throw-in. Here's Nduna under pressure from Turner. Nduna tricks his way past them. Crossing opportunity for Coventry United. And a stern challenge there on Valance, but Coventry United have the throw-in. Here's Pacheto making his debut for Coventry United after gaining international clearance. Cross into the area. I want a chance now for Blake. He could have a go here. Oh, he tries to do too much. He was trying to trick his way past the Studley man, but ended up losing the ball. Disappointing there for Coventry United. An opportunity here for the visitors Studley. Here's Kediambiko. And a trip there on Daniel Stokes. And it's a free kick to Studley halfway into the attacking half. They try and take this one quickly, but the referee calls it back. United are able to crowd the box out with red shirts. And to say this, it's going to be Gary Turner. He's got options in the centre. Allen should come out and catch this. Good hands there from David Allen, the Coventry United goalkeeper, replacing the injured Rich Morris. And Glasgow trying to work his way down the wing. He's doing well, but he needs support here, and he loses it to the skipper, Dave Edwards. Trying to do too much there, and Studley trying to work it, an opportunity. Kediambiko loses the ball. Prinzel can't get it away from Bunn. And Kediambiko is down. It's played into the area, and surely now Stokes, and it's the referee has. I believe it's offside. It's been called against Stokes, but the referee has called play back, so Kediambiko can be attended to. In fact, the striker is able to continue without help from the physio. It was played into the area where Stokes had a chance one-on-one with Allen, and then dived down low and gathered the ball. But it looked like the decision was given as offside anyway, so it didn't really matter. And Allen will take the free kick from the edge of his area and plays one short to Valance. Valance now Peixoto. The new signing finds Nduna in the centre circle. Coventry United taking things slow here. Squares it to Prinzel. A long ball looking for Cox. It's headed up, not out by Mullen, and Coventry United have a throw-in level with the penalty area, and it's going to be Thomas Glasgow to take it. Finds Nduna, and O'Grady loses the ball to Edwards. Studley can boot it up the other end of the field. United have got to play themselves out of danger here, and Kenny Mbiko was racing towards goal, but thankfully David Allen was able to clear his lines. Hutchcock heads it forward. United again lose the ball in the centre, and a good challenge there from Blythe. Quick clearance by Brendan Bunn, the goalkeeper. It's gone out for a Coventry United throw-in just on the halfway line, which Glasgow will take. Live here on Hillz FM Matchday, broadcasting from Sphinx Drive. And then Nduna picks up the ball for a good header by Valance, working his way past the defenders. Blythe tricks his way through. Glasgow now, the right back. Plays it back to Blythe in the centre. United looking for options here. Long ball finds Chris Cox in the penalty area. He's forced to the right. And it's gone out for a throw-in. To Coventry United just in the corner. I believe it took a touch of Dave Edwards last. And Coventry United will have this throw-in right in the corner. Glasgow's going to take it. He's got O'Grady and Nduna in support. Finds Nduna on the edge of the penalty area. And United lose it. Blythe might be able to get his foot on this one, and he does. Plays it back upfield towards O'Grady. Claims of handball. O'Grady into the penalty area. It's a challenge here. O'Grady still with the ball. Can he cross it in? Tries the cross, and it's deflected out for a corner off the back of Gary Turner. But good work by Josh O'Grady. And Coventry United will have the corner, which O'Grady will take himself. Options in the centre, and Nduna providing a short option. It's crossed into the area, and it's the Studley defender got his head to it first. Kyle Mullen got his head to the ball first, but Hutchcox, I believe, made contact with the head of Mullen with his foot, and the referee has called it back for a free kick. And the referee is having a quick word with his assistant. I think it was just a simple footballing incident, both players going for the ball, not a lot the referee can do about it. So far no goals from the Premier League. Chelsea are taking on West Ham, Crystal Palace against Leicester, Watford and Stoke, and also West Brom versus Norwich are today's games. Here's Nduna on the left wing, halfway up the pitch. Squares it and finds Cox, who's playing a deeper midfield role. Picciotto tried a little bit trickier, but it's cleared by the Studley man. And the Bees looking to craft an opportunity of their own. Here's Robbie Bunn. Plays the ball onto the right-hand side, looking for Kenny Mbiko. It only found Valance. He has to pick up the ball again in defence with Prinzel, and he'll let that one go to the goalkeeper, David Allen. Just under 10 minutes gone here at Sphinx Drive. Coventry United 0, Studley 0. A good challenge there by Glasgow, and O'Grady looking to put the ball through for him. It's a good challenge by Dave Edwards, the skipper, to put the ball out of play for a Coventry United throw-in. Throw taken short to O'Grady, back to Glasgow, surrounded by yellow and black shirts. Blythe, now Cox. Back to Blythe. Long ball, intended target was Blake, but Blake's been called offside. He didn't even get near the ball anyway. Edwards managed to deal with it. We're heading this with a try for Coventry Rugby Club. They're 7-0 up at home to Cinderford. And a goal at Nuneaton Griff. Nuneaton Griff have scored. A goal from Josh Ruff for Griff, who are just 1 point behind Coventry United. In theory, they could go above United with a victory today. It's already 1-0 to Nuneaton Griff at the Pingles Stadium, at home to Cadbury, I believe it is. And Coventry United lose the ball in the centre once again, and Duna tries to win it back. Kedi Mbika. United win the ball back. O'Grady picks up the ball in the centre. Glasgow in support, between forced back here by the Studley attack. Visitors pressing the United defence every step of the way, and O'Grady's having to trick his way up past the Studley man. He's got Glasgow in support. Finds Josh Blake in the centre. Back to O'Grady. Back to Blake. A long ball forward by Blythe. A lovely ball finds Valance. He's under pressure there from Stokes, and Coventry United have the throw-in. No real chances of merit so far for either side. We are only 10 minutes into today's game. Here's Martin Hutchcox back in the team today after injury. Racing down the left wing is Valance. He's forced off the ball, and that will be a goal kick to Studley. We're live here on Hillz FM Matchday, live coverage of Coventry United versus Studley, broadcasting live on YouTube.
Come on, United!
For those of you who have missed today's earlier action, Arsenal were victorious at Everton, winning 2-0. And I also believe that Derby beat their local rivals Nottingham Forest, and they took home the Brian Clough Trophy after that game. Of course, Brian Clough, the legendary manager of both clubs. A long range effort there from Bunn, and it's an ambitious one. It went just wide. Well, they do say that you can't win the raffle if you don't buy a ticket. The first proper shot on goal of today's match comes around 13 minutes in. Remains 0-0 at Sphinx Drive between Coventry United and Studley. United looking to return to winning ways after the 4-2 loss at Bromsgrove. United have the throw-in around 10 yards behind the halfway line in their own half. Glasgow looking for support. He finds Cox headed on towards Blake. And suddenly are able to clear the ball from danger. Byford under pressure from Cox. Byford still going. And Bunn with a long ball towards the box. Headed out by Hutchcox. Kept in by Robbie Bunn. And a through ball looking for Kidi Mbiko. And he's found the ball. Cross-goal opportunity for Matt Edwards, who's getting away from Glasgow. It's put into the area. It's just drifted wide at the far post. Goal kick to Coventry United. So far, Studley, in my opinion, have looked the better team. It's been a disappointing start for Coventry United so far. Allen takes the goal kick. Cleared forward by a Studley man, and Valance only able to clear it towards the Studley number 8, Matt Edwards. United are able to win the ball back thanks to a good challenge from Hutchcox. It's gone out for a throw-in to Studley, which Gary Turner will take. The hard-hitting right back for Studley. Very short one to Danny Byford on the right-hand side. Back to Turner. Kedi Mbiko, back to Turner. He was trying to find Stokes in the box, but a good block by Hutchcox. Long ball forward towards Blake. Blake gets his head to it, but it's pulled back, and suddenly are able to regain the ball. And Dave Edwards has possession of the ball right now. The clearance blocked though by Chris Cox. O'Grady just manages to keep it in. The pass towards Cox didn't find its intended target, and Mullen does well to keep the ball away from the United skipper.
Come on, let's keep working, Brent!
Suddenly are forced to put it back towards their goalkeeper, and they miscued clearance by Brendan Bunn. And United should retain possession here, and it's booted over the stand by Joe Knight. New ball, please. Oh, wait a minute, we're not at Wimbledon. And the score remains Coventry United 0, Studley 0. Free kick taken by Glasgow. Quick 1-2 with O'Grady. Blythe, long ball forward towards Cox. Headed on by Cox. Here's Blake. Crossing opportunity on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Plays it back to O'Grady. He's got Nduna and Peixoto in the centre. Still O'Grady. Crosses it in towards the far post. And offside called against the United man. It's been waved away by the referee because the player that offside was given against wasn't even interfering with play. And United have the ball back. O'Grady once again with a crossing opportunity on the right-hand side, trying to work his way into the area, and he's lost possession at the hands of Robbie Bunn. Studley player out of danger with Joe Knight. Finds Danny Byford. He's got Stokes forward as well as Kedi Mbiko. And it's Vasno, Kedi Mbiko, and the first touch was just a little bit too hard. And it's gone out for a goal kick. Goal back from Stamford Bridge, and West Ham United lead. And it's Lanzini who's got the goal for the Hammers. So things just are not going right for Chelsea at the moment. They're out of the Champions League. They're out of the FA Cup. They're certainly out of the running for the Premier League. United have position in the centre circle with Muzzy and Nduna. Here's Ben Valance looking for an option. Plays a long ball towards the area. It should be dealt with, and it is caught by Brendan Bunn, the Studley goalkeeper. Despite pressure from Josh O'Grady, he's put the ball down and Blake rushes towards him. It's booted clear by Bunn. Stokes, the former United favourite, now in the colours of Studley. Gary Turner squares it for Byford. Long ball towards Kedi Mbiko. Kedi Mbiko could try and chip David Allen. It's a good catch by the Coventry United goalkeeper. The long ball forward bouncing away from Kedi Mbiko. And Prinzel now looking to find Blake with a long ball, and that will go out for a throw in to Studley, which will be taken quickly by Kyle Mullen. Joe Knight plays it towards Kedi Mbiko. A game of head tennis here in the midfield, but Coventry United come away with possession. O'Grady finds Peixoto in the centre, tries to find Nduna. That's a lovely chip pass. Nduna has the ball, and it's it. Oh, it's just wide. I thought that was going in for a second. Good shot from Nduna on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Just drifts wide at the far post. Score remains Coventry United 0, Studley 0. It did look like for a while that was going into the bottom corner. Best chance that United have been able to craft so far. And score update from the Ricoh Arena. The score remains 0-0 between Coventry City and Swindon Town. And Hutchcox with a header. It's only gone out for a throw-in on the halfway line. A couple of goals to say about from the Championship. Bristol City already lead Bolton by 2-0, and QPR are 1-0 up at Preston. Robbie Bunn, he's forced back. Some good defensive pressure by Glasgow. And it's played back to the goalkeeper, Brendan Bunn. Brilliant work by Tom Glasgow. Valance tries to find Nduna. The first chip from Nduna was just a little bit too hard. And the long ball played forward by Studley goes into the grateful hands of David Allen. Cox tries a long ball down the right-hand side of the wing, but it's not quite worked out. It's gone out for a throw-in. Maybe the wind helped it on its way a little bit. But Josh O'Grady disappointed because he was expecting that pass on the right side. And Mullen finds Byford. He's been a dangerous game there, nearly lost the ball to Josh Blake. And suddenly they've got to try and clear their lines here. Joins nearly caught out as well. And Gary Turner able to, nearly find a midfielder, but it's come to Peixoto.
From Chelsea. Just signed him from Chelsea.
And as Studley are able to clear their lines, I must say that the award for the most exotic name in Coventry United's history goes to Marino Peixoto.
Yeah. Signed from Chelsea.
As Alan has just said, he was signed from Chelsea. And Kedi Mbiko wasn't able to keep that in for Studley on the halfway line to Coventry United throw in. 20 minutes in, remains 0-0. Rob Prinzel has it. the centre-back. Hutchcock trying to return from injury, plays a long ball towards the left-hand side, towards Nduna. Turner's able to get it away from him. Valance picks up the ball on the left side, runs past Nduna, tries to square it, but there's no one home. But the attempted clearance by Joins puts them straight back into danger. Turner plays it back to Brendan Bunn, who's able to clear his lines, but it's gone out for a Coventry United throw-in on the right wing. Nduna trying to find some space. Oh, the chip pass towards the right wing goes out. Score update from the Butts Park Arena. Coventry Rugby Club leads Cinderford by 15 points to 5. So in 20 minutes gone, we've already seen 20 points at the Butts Park Arena. Something the best of seasons for Coventry United. A long ball down the line towards Josh Blake, and it's called offside by the linesman. Blake's certainly not happy with that one. Josh Blake with a rare start today. Remember, United do have a lot of quality on the bench, including striker Matt Brown, as Gift Musa as well, Jamie Coleman, Callum Burgess and Brian and Love. No sign of Ross Briscoe though, the goal scorer from the Bromsgrove game. Not sure whether he's suffering from an injury problem at the moment. And Bunn's able to clear his lines, but an opportunity here for Stokes. First touch just a little bit too heavy. Prinzel's clearance will go out for a corner. And Studley, the Bees in their yellow and black kits, looking to sting the United defence.
Yellow 502.
And the corner will be taken by Joe Knight.
Oh, wrong way.
And Knight on the right hand side, cross it in, head towards goal. That's just hit the crossbar. The header from Gary Joins hit the crossbar. And Studley have eventually lost possession. It's gone out for a throw to Coventry United. Bullet header there from Gary Joins at the near post, smacked across the crossbar. And Glasgow will take this throw in. Headed on by Blythe towards Blake. And it's gone off Blake last, I believe. It's gone for a Studley throw in. Piece of clear by Edwards. I'll go to the head of Hutchcox. Only finds Byford. Headed on by Edwards. Option on the left hand side. And the attempted pass towards Stokes was not a good one. Here's Robbie Bunn. And Matt Edwards with possession on the left hand side. Squares it. Stokes shoots his way past Prinzel. But eventually the number of United defenders are able to prize the ball away. And here come United. Here's Peixoto. He's got Nduna in support on the left hand side, being closed off by Joe Knight. Finds Nduna. Cutting into the centre of the pitch. Nduna passes into the centre to O'Grady, just outside the area. Back onto the left hand side now to Ben Valance. Good pressure by Keddy and Biko. And Studley come away with the ball. Long ball down the right wing by Studley. He's picked up well by Valance. Prinzel's long ball, nobody home, and that should be easily headed away by Dave Edwards. It is, but Blythe nearly nicked the ball away in the centre. A very lacklustre game here at Sphinx Drive. And Nduna finds Peixoto. You've got Blythe, and it's gone out for a throw-in on this left wing. The pass towards Blake was blocked by Turner. Valance's throw finds Blake in the penalty area. He's being forced away from goal. Back in by Valance. O'Grady in the centre, punched away by Bunn. And it's flicked away by Mullen. United have the ball back in their own half. Prinzel, and that's a poor pass. And he's only found Daniel Stokes. Through ball. Danny Byford on his own here. Brilliant challenge from Rob Prinzel, making up for his earlier error. United look to swing the pendulum here. O'Grady brought down on the edge of the area, looks in some discomfort. Referee says no. And here comes Studley. Stokes is challenged well by Prinzel, and that goes straight back to David Allen, the United goalkeeper. O'Grady is still down. And the referee has finally called the physio over. He stopped play. The physio is able to go onto the pitch now and attend to Josh O'Grady. With the amount of injury problems that United have at the moment, this is the last thing that United need, especially at this time of the season. The top scorer, Josh O'Grady, in some discomfort on the ground. A goal at the Britannia Stadium, and Stoke lead at Watford. I should say Vicarage Road. Stoke lead at Watford by 1-0. And that goal coming from Jonathan Walters. There's a couple of score updates from the Championship as well. Leeds United lead at home to Huddersfield. Stuart Dallas scoring the goal. Still no score at the Ricoh Arena between Coventry City and Swindon Town. Coventry plays in action later on today. They are away at the Dundee Stars. That's a 5:30 face-off at the Dundee Ice Arena. The score at the Butts Park Arena: Coventry Rugby Club 15, Cinderford Rugby Club 5. So the Blue and Whites currently with a 10-point lead. And O'Grady is hobbling off the pitch. Let's keep our fingers crossed he is able to continue. One of United's most important players, top scorer for United this season. He's preparing himself, hopefully, to come back on. And the throw-in from the away side goes straight back to David Allen. A good show of sportsmanship there from Studley. As Brian and Love goes to warm up, as does Matt Brown, a potential replacement for Josh O'Grady. Allen's clearance is headed up by Knight. Cox tries to find Blake, and Studley will pick up the ball once again in their defensive area. Dave Edwards can only find Prinzel with the long ball. Another long ball, but United are able to find a teammate this time. Nduna heads it back to Valance. Back to Nduna in the centre. The option on the right is Cox. Play back onto the left wing to Valance. Blythe being forced back here. It plays a ball. Long ball onto the right hand side to Prinzel. And the ball forward only as far as Kyle Mullen. There was no one there. Killian Biko trying to keep the ball in on the left side, and Prinzel makes sure that goes off the pitch. I think it's gone over to someone's garden. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's one of them. Score at Sphinx Drive remains Coventry United 0, Studley 0. Certainly not the best of games so far. United unable to retain possession. That's hoofed forward by the Studley centre-back, Gary Joins. It's Prinzel put it out for a Studley throw-in just in their own half. 15 minutes until half-time, still no score. And here come United with Nduna on the left-hand side. United down to 10 men at the moment with the injury to Josh O'Grady. Goes to find Cox, it's just nicked away in the nick of time. United have the ball back though with Nduna. And now Peugeotto lifts it over. Here's Blake, not offside this time. Took the clearance by Knight, and eventually Studley can clear their lines. And Josh O'Grady has sat down on the bench, hopefully just to gather his bearings. But it's not certain yet whether he's going to be able to continue. Matt Brown and Brian and Love are both warming up. Daniel Stokes, it's booted cleared now by Turner. Killian Biko. And a foul is given against Rich Bly for a foul on Vaznol Kediumbiko. It's getting increasingly hard to say that name. And a substitution here for Coventry United, and it's very bad news for United fans. Their top scorer, Josh O'Grady, is having to come off. But Gift Musa is going to come on, the Coventry United midfielder, somewhat surprisingly dropped after the match at Bromsgrove. One of, I think, 5 or 6 changes to the United starting lineup. And O'Grady has indeed gone off. It's been replaced by Gift Musa. And the Studley free kick to be taken by Gary Turner into the area. Musa able to clear it. And Blake trying to get onto the loose ball. Just picked up by the Studley man, but Pageto dispossesses him. He's got Blake in support, still going. Pageto could have a go somewhere. Jigs away past the defender. What a save there by Brendan Bunn, diving down to his right side and tipping the ball around the post. Brilliant run and shot there by Marino Pageto, but an even better save from Brandon Bunn. And it will be a corner to Coventry United. Sensational run there from the United debutant Marino Pageto. Of course, put in by Unduna, headed straight back out by Studley. No danger for the visitors. Gary Turner. His pass can only find Glasgow. Now Rob Prinzel. And the ball towards Chris Cox doesn't find its intended target, but Hutch Cox is able to clear the ball back up line, offside against Cox. The referee decides to invoke it, despite the fact that Cox didn't seem to interfere with play. The score update from the Ricoh Arena, and the score remains 0-0 between Coventry City and Swindon Town. And a goal at Selhurst Park. Leicester lead by 1-0. Riyad Mahrez scoring the goal. The fun just doesn't seem to be stopping for the Foxes. Leicester win it. The free kick is played forward. Hutchcox heads it up, not out. United have got the ball back now with Muzzy Unduna on the left-hand side. Racing away from his man. Here's Blake. He's it back to Blythe, and the pass on the left-hand side towards Unduna was a little bit too powerful, but it's been called offside by the referee's assistant anyway. Disappointment for Coventry United, but the attack seems to be petering out anyway.
Terrible line, shocking.
The United fans showing their disdain for the decision. A number of offside decisions given against Coventry United. The free kick played forward, headed out by Prinzel. Pageto now on the right hand side, seems to have moved on to the right side of midfield. Trying to trick his way past the Studley midfielders. Long ball towards the left hand wing. It's a little bit too powerful for Unduna, and Turner can only find Valance. And now Blake. Unduna, back to Blake. No, it's just edged towards Gary Turner's boot. And Turner has to play it back to his goalkeeper, Brendan Bunn. Headed up by Musa. Prinzel gets his hand in it as well. Cox. Played forward by Byford. Kediumbiko putting Hutchcox under pressure. But the United centre back on, oh dear, Hutchcox is down now. And the man who's just come back from injury, and this does not look good for Coventry United. They've already lost Josh O'Grady to injury. But the last thing they need now is their returning centre back, Hutchcox, who, again, this is his first game back in 3 weeks. Since being injured during the midweek clash with Racing Club Warwick. But Hutchcox has said he doesn't need help. He's going to continue. He will have to leave the field, I assume. The referee has allowed him to stay on. Usually when the physio comes on, they have to leave the field for a while, but the referee said no, he can continue. 10 minutes to go until the break. The only real chance of note. Fantastic run by Pageto. A fantastic save by Bunn. The only chance of note from an otherwise drab game. Allen puts it forward onto the head of Chris Cox. Pageto heads it on, and an offside given against Blake, who was through on goal. Looked looked quite, it was a very close decision to me. It looked like he was just about level, but again, the linesman not very lenient with United. Excuse me. Yeah, commentator sneezed as well.
Yeah, keep Jem somewhere else.
And the free kick to be taken by Brendan Bunn. That's pretty much all he's had to do today, apart from that exceptional save from Peugeotto. Looking for Kedian Biko and finds him. Under pressure by 3 United defenders. He's still got the ball, Kedian Biko. Eventually loses it to Peugeotto. Musa tries to play it out of danger. And it's been given as a throw-in to Studley. Good pressure there by Robbie Bunn. The Studley winger. And the long ball by Knight, only as far as Valance. And Duna's got space on the left-hand side. What can he do with the ball? Heading into the opposite half. Gift Musa. And here's Nduna. Finds Glasgow in space on the right-hand side. He's got Peugeotto in front of him. Musa on the left as well. Plays to Peugeotto. Studley able to nick the ball away. And Kedian Biko keeps the ball in, but only as far as the United man. And Hutchcox, who seems to have shaken off that injury, but the attempted pass to Glasgow, as you can hear, hits the stand on the roof. Pretty chilly and windy day in Coventry. Certainly not helping the aerial game here at Sphinx Drive.
Don't put your Easter egg away. Safety in the car.
Yeah, trying to get lines here, but coming into the area, it's Matt Edwards. Squares it looking for Stokes. Stokes brought down, referee says no, and the clearance is made. Cox heads it on. Here's Blake. Good switch there with Nduna. Brilliant bit of skill by Nduna to beat his man, but ends up losing it to Dave Edwards. Glasgow's ball only as far as Knight. Once again, Cox does well with a good challenge. Now Peugeotto on the right-hand side. What can they do with this ball? Blythe, long ball forward, only as far as the goalkeeper, Brendan Bunn. Yet more disappointment for Coventry United. Very few clear-cut opportunities. And the referee calling for a new ball. The balls are swapped. And Bunn is giving the ball back under a drop ball. Remember, at half-time we are going to be taking a short break to switch the laptop batteries. So we'll be going off there for about 5 minutes at half-time. And Bunn eventually takes the goal kick. And it's headed away by Hutchcox just on the edge of the area. Blythe finds Blake in the centre circle. Now Peugeotto on the right-hand side. Lovely cheeky back heel to Glasgow. And Glasgow racing onto the ball. He's got Blake in front of him. Tripped from behind by Robbie Bunn. Nothing given. He certainly didn't get the ball there. Bizarre decision from the referee. And his namesake, Brendan Bunn, is able to clear the ball. Just with the ball on the left wing on the halfway line. Valance finds Gift Musa. Manages to keep the ball away from Daniel Stokes. Valance to Nduna. Good side challenge there from Gary Turner. And it's gone out for a Studley throw-in. Came off Chris Cox last. Tried to control the ball, couldn't do so. Just over 5 minutes to go until the break. And a goal at the Majeski Stadium. Reading 1, Cardiff 0. And the chance for Studley peters out after the long ball from Kyle Mullen was just a little bit too long. So still no goals to tell you about here at Sphinx Drive, and still no goals to tell you about from the Ricoh Arena. Remains 0-0 between Coventry City and Swindon Town. Sky Blues looking to continue this little bit of form they've found. Another score from the Butts Park Arena. Coventry Rugby Club 15, Cinderford 12. Visitors have caught up with another try. Attempted shot there by Knight. Long range effort. Good block by Musa. And Musa will come away with the ball. He's got Nduna in support into the opposing area. Nduna. Good challenge again by the Studley man Gary Turner. United with the ball once again, but the ball down line will only go as far as Turner. It's forced into the corner and boots it down line. And United have the ball back into an opportunity here for Josh Blake, who just couldn't sort his feet out. And Brendan Bunn clears it out of his box. We have to have it again with Tom Glasgow. United look to regroup with Rob Prinzel from the back. Back to Glasgow. United under threat here from the attacking line from Studley. United have lost the ball. And Knight, lovely back heel, finds his way past Blythe with the ball down line towards Robbie Bunn. It's too long. And Prinzel will deal with this one. Not very well though. It's something clearance only. Canning off the Studley defender. Glasgow manages to win possession back. Blythe, long ball, and Blake is onside here. He's forced onto the right-hand wing. And a good challenge by Kyle Mullen to dispossess the United frontman. Throw in, taken quickly. Peixoto, oh, and it's just nicked away by Joe Knight. Prinzel heads it to his defensive partner, Hutch Cox, who plays it back to David Allen in goal. As we approach half-time at Sphinx Drive, score remains 0-0. It's going to be hard to pick the highlights out of this game because there haven't been too many. So that one running shot of note from Peixoto. So nearly giving United the lead. I'm still not quite sure how it didn't, but a fantastic save from Brendan Bunn. Able to deny the Coventry debutant. He's finally been given international clearance. He's making his first start for his new team. Chris Cox comes away with the ball in the centre circle, falls onto the left-hand side, finds Unduna. He's got options in the centre with Blake coming into the area at the far post is Peixoto. And it's played out of danger for a throw-in by Kyle Mullen. Coventry United haven't got too long in this first half to get a goal. Gift Musa plays it to Glasgow on the right side. He's got support in Peixoto and Musa plays it to Peixoto. Cross-goal opportunity, headed straight out by Dave Edwards. And Knight is able to hoof it upfield. Peixoto's got the ball back again, dispossessed by Dave Edwards, and a free kick given to Coventry United with Peixoto brought down from behind by Dave Edwards. As the Studley skipper did seem to get the ball, but the referee has decided and it is going to be a free kick. So the referee having a quick word with Edwards. A score update from the Premier League: Chelsea 0, West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 0, Leicester 1, Watford 0, Stoke 1, West Brom 0, Norwich 0. And Hutch Cox will take this free kick. Obviously Josh O'Grady out of action. Suffered an injury earlier in this first half. Hutch Cox was into the area towards Blake, headed up by Edward. Peixoto heads it back towards the box, and United have lost possession once again. Stokes loses it to Unduna. Valance on the left side. Whips it into the area towards Blake. Headed over by Blake. Chance here for Cox into the area. It's forced away by the Studley back line. It's still with Musa, who has to go from long range, and it's drifted wide at the far post. Decent effort from Musa. Second shot that United have had in a rather unproductive first half. We are coming to the end of the first 45 minutes of football here at Sphinx Drive. And again, we are going to be taking a short break to swap the laptop batteries after the referee's half-time whistle. Huddersfield have equalised at Leeds with Mark Hudson scoring for the Terriers. Also, there's been a red card at Blackpool with Jack Redshaw giving his marching orders against Crewe. And the referee has given a free kick for a high boot. And this could quite possibly be the final attack of the first half. We're at the end of normal time, about a minute of injury time expected. Maybe a couple of minutes due to the injury of O'Grady. Cox has the ball on the right-hand side of the area. Cross is put in, blocked by Edwards, and that's a corner to Coventry United. One last chance before the referee blows his whistle. And Peugeot goes towards the corner flag, which actually I put up. Yeah, I put up the corner flags earlier. It's Peugeot to take the corner on this right wing. Swings it in, headed away. Yes, will win the ball back with Prinzel. Play it back to Peugeot on the right hand side. Crosses it with his left foot towards the far post. Headed up, but not out. And it's another corner. Blythe tried to keep it in, but it had already gone past the line. And it's a corner on the left side this time. And this time it's Nduna who will take it. I think 5 men in the area with Peugeot on the edge of the box. Nduna puts it in towards the near post. Hutchcock tries to head towards goal, couldn't make contact with the ball. And the referee blows the half-time whistle, and that is half-time here at Sphinx Drive. Not a lot to say about from this first half. 2 chances of merit, both from Coventry United. A fantastic run from the right side of the pitch from Marino Peugeot into the area, and a sensational effort with his left foot, trying to curl it around Brendan Bunn, who manages to palm it away with his right hand. Fantastic save. The other chance for Coventry United, a rather long range effort from Gif Musa, which really didn't trouble the goalkeeper. So really not a lot to say about from a rather lacklustre game here at Sphinx Drive. Score: Coventry United 0, Studley 0. Let's take you through some scores across the country, and we have got a goal from Stamford Bridge. Cesc Fabregas equalising for the Blues in the 3rd minute of injury time. So let's take you through the half-time scores around the country, starting off with the Premier League. Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. It's just been changed actually. Chelsea 1, West Ham 1, Crystal Palace 0, Leicester 1, and Watford 0, Stoke 1, West Brom 0, Norwich 0. Into the half-time scores in the Championship. Birmingham City 0, Fulham 1, Brentford 0, Blackburn 0, Bristol City 2, Bolton 0, Burnley 0, Wolves 0, Ipswich 0, Rotherham 1, Leeds 1, Huddersfield 1, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Brighton 0, Preston 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, Reading 1, Cardiff 0, and Sheffield Wednesday 0, Charlton 0. The early kickoffs finished just before we kicked off here at Sphinx Drive, with Derby beating Nottingham Forest by 1-0, and Everton losing at home to Arsenal by 2-0. As we try and get the scores from the Championship, League 1 for you, and here they are. Bury 1, Shrewsbury Town 2, Coventry City 0, Swindon Town 0, Crewe Alexandra 0, Blackpool 1, Doncaster 1, Peterborough 1, Fleetwood 0, Barnsley 0, Millwall 1, Sheffield United 0, Oldham 1, Rochdale 1, Port Vale 0, Burton 2, Scunthorpe 1, Chesterfield 0, Southend 1, Gillingham 0, rather surprising scoreline there, Walsall 0, Colchester 1, wow, Walsall losing there, obviously after sacking Sean O'Driscoll in the last week, and Wigan 0, Bradford City 0, on to League 2 now. Full-time score, Newport County 1, Bristol Rovers 4. Brilliant scoreline there for Bristol Rovers. On to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. AFC Wimbledon 0, York City 1, Barnet 0, Oxford United 0, Cambridge United 2, Yeovil Town 0, Carlisle United 1, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Crawley Town 0, Hartlepool United 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Leyton Orient 0, Morecambe 0, Mansfield 1, Portsmouth 1, Notts County 1, Exeter 1, Plymouth 0, Luton 1, and Stevenage 2, Northampton 1, I should say. And just before we go, the Scottish Premiership, scores. One result to say about: Kilmarnock 0, Celtic 1. The latest scores: Hamilton 1, Partick 0, Hearts 0, St Johnstone 2, Motherwell 0, Aberdeen 1, and Ross County 0, Inverness 2. And also the half-time score from the Butts Park Arena, an incredibly close match between Coventry Rugby Club and Cinderford. And the score is, Coventry Rugby Club managed to get a third try of the game through Dom Lespierre just before the half-time whistle. The half-time score is Coventry Rugby Club 20, Cinderford 12. Well, that is all we've got time for the first half of today's game. But don't worry, we will be back in around 5 minutes' time. We're just going to swap the battery so we make sure that we do get to the end of today's game. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Matchday Hillz for the latest goings on in the wonderful world of sport, especially around the local Coventry area. So we're going off air for about 5 minutes' time while we swap the battery. Make sure you are right back here in 5 minutes as we get the second half here at Sphinx Drive underway. Half-time score: Coventry United 0, Studley 0.